The Chiefs just came out of Friday practice in great shape, and that simple detail might be the single most important thing you take away from this preview. Everyone was a full go except Christian Fulton, who's still dealing with that nagging ankle. And that matters, because availability is the baseline of opportunity in the NFL. When your starters are on the field and your depth is intact, you have options. And right now the Chiefs have options. Fulton's ankle has been disappointing compared to the size of the deal they gave him, but the silver lining has been loud. Noah Williams stepped into that role and has made plays, earning trust and forcing the coaches to rethink the pecking order. That's huge for you as a fan, because it means the secondary isn't collapsing without Fulton. It's revealing dependable depth. Fulton missing time has also allowed Trent McDuffie to slide back into the slot when needed, giving Andy Reid tactical flexibility. Importantly, you don't have to rush Fulton back just because of contract dollars. Depth matters more than money on the field, and the Chiefs are proving it. A healthy practice week equals cleaner game planning, fewer last-minute lineup changes, and that almost always helps with continuity on both sides of the ball. If you like this kind of breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe. We're pushing for 5,000 subs, and every follow helps keep this coverage coming. Quick poll for the comments. Would you rather the Chiefs keep Noah Williams starting when Fulton is cleared, or bring Fulton back immediately? Type keep Williams or bring Fulton back and tell me one short reason why. Flipping to Jacksonville, their injury report actually tilts this matchup more in Kansas City's favor than you might expect from the standings. The big names are Year Abdullah with a hamstring issue and Trayvon Walker, the former #1 overall pick, dealing with a wrist injury that required surgery. Walker didn't practice Thursday or Friday and is listed week to week, so his status for Monday looks doubtful. That's not small. Walker is a primary edge rusher for the Jaguars, and if he's not available, the Chiefs' offensive line suddenly has one less explosive threat to game plan. Cleaner pockets for Patrick Mahomes change the entire offensive script. Easier reads, fewer scramble and throw moments, and fewer rushed passes that lead to turnovers. Jacksonville has other limited players. Eric Murray was limited with a neck issue and rookie. Running back Tootin was dealing with a shoulder. But Walker and Abdullah are the real storylines here. Yes, Jacksonville's defense has been excellent at forcing turnovers and sits among the top in scoring defense. But context matters. They've largely faced weaker offenses so far, teams ranked low in offensive production. That production might not translate the same way against a high-octane, multi-layered offense like Kansas City's, especially if the Jags are missing top pass rush pieces. If you want these injury breakdowns and matchup reads every week, subscribe now and help push us toward 5,000. Quick vote for the comments. Which Jaguars' absence hurts them more for this game, Walker or Abdullah? Drop one word and why. Now let's get into the matchups that decide this game, because the path to victory is pretty straightforward. Don't turn the ball over, score about 25 points, and you're in a great spot. The Chiefs' offense has been getting healthier and more dangerous. Xavier Worthy being back is a real difference maker. He stretches defenses with speed in ways that open up underneath routes for the rest of the receiving group. Juju Smith-Schuster looked like the veteran playmaker you expect last week, and Tyquan Thornton is emerging as a legitimate weapon in this offense. That means Mahomes doesn't have to rely solely on Travis Kelce. Defenses must respect multiple threats, and that creates mismatches. On the other side, the Jaguars are leaning on Travis Etienne, Jr., who's been productive on the ground, third in rushing yards and averaging a strong yards-per-carry clip. But the Chiefs' run defense has quietly exceeded expectations this year, even after moving on from Mike Pennell. And if Kansas City limits Etienne's chunk plays, Jacksonville's offense becomes a lot more ordinary. Trent McDuffie can handle matchups against receivers like Brian Thomas, And if you neutralize their top targets and keep ETN from breaking loose, Trevor Lawrence loses the underneath help he needs to keep up with Mahomes in a shootout. This ties back to the Jaguars' turnover-based defensive profile. They've forced turnovers against weaker offenses, but the Chiefs have been disciplined with the ball. Mahomes has thrown just one questionable interception that could have been a catch. If Kansas City plays clean football and gives Mahomes time in the pocket, Jacksonville's ability to create game-changing plays dwindles. Quick question for the comments while this sinks in. Which matchup do you think decides this game? The Chiefs' offensive line versus Jacksonville's front seven, or the Chiefs' receivers versus the Jags' secondary? Type OL or WRs and one short reason why. So what's the practical game plan? Protect the football, feed the offense through its growing group of weapons, and let the defense do its job against Etienne. If Mahomes has time and the Chiefs can hit that safe offensive benchmark, the defense, which has been holding teams to under 20 points recently, will make life uncomfortable for Trevor Lawrence. With Trayvon Walker likely limited or out, the pass rush loses a big piece, and that should translate into cleaner opportunities for Mahomes to exploit mismatches downfield. Expect Andy Reid to be aggressive but smart. Use Worthy's speed to stretch the field, lean on Juju and Thornton in intermediate zones, and take smart shots to Kelsey when the matchups are right. On defense, prioritize gap integrity to force Etienne into predictable paths and make Trevor Lawrence earn every down. If the Chiefs execute that plan, the scoreboard will reflect it. Putting it all together, my final score prediction is 28-17 Chiefs. That feels like a confident, not cocky call, a solid win without a blowout. The reasoning is simple. Kansas City should score around 25 points if the offense protects the ball, and their defense has been stingy enough to keep Jacksonville in the mid to high teens, especially if the Jags are missing key pass rush pieces. From a betting angle, the over is tempting if you like that play. The Chiefs have shown they can put up points, and Xavier Worthy's return adds another vertical threat that should boost scoring opportunities. The primary swing variable is turnovers. If the Chiefs cough it up, anything's possible. But discipline has been a strength this season. Looking ahead, a clean win here builds momentum for the tougher matchup next week against the Detroit Lions, and getting Rashee Rice back soon, as the report suggested, would only make the offense scarier. This stretch is the perfect chance for Kansas City to start stringing wins together after a slower start. Before we wrap, I want to hear your take. Do you agree with 28-17? Drop your score prediction in the comments and tell me one reason. Also, quick yes/no poll. Should Mahomes play more conservatively to avoid turnovers or keep pushing full throttle? Type conservative or push and give one sentence explaining your choice. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please hit like, subscribe, and share the video with another Chiefs fan. We're right at the doorstep of 5,000 subs, and every single sub helps keep this channel growing and delivering the daily Chiefs content you want. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Chiefs.